As announced on yesterday's video, home shirts are back on sale for a limited time only to celebrate our promotion to the Premier League. They'll only be available for 2 weeks, starting yesterday. The link is down in the description. As soon as I have the actual proper close date, I'll let you know that as well. I'm recording this video before they've actually gone on sale, so I assume they went on sale properly, but they are only going to be available for 2 weeks. If you've been wanting one and you've not been able to get one, now is your opportunity. It might well be the last time they're ever on sale, depending on how this batch goes, but yeah, get them while they're hot. Down in the description below, this is your chance if you've been waiting. And of course, once you've got it, posing it, you get on the thumbnail as well, which is, I mean, that's really what it's all about. Everyone wants to be on a thumbnail. And now we get to go and play in the Premier League. Hello and welcome to part 116 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first ever games in the Premier League. We're away against Blackburn and then at home-ish against Huddersfield. I say ish because if you didn't watch the video yesterday, you won't know that we now play at Stadium MK in Milton Keynes, and we're going to be there probably for the rest of the series because we can't get a new ground of our own for another 11 years. So we're kind of stuck at Stadium MK. But we did have quite a productive transfer window yesterday. £38 million spent, £10 million brought in. The club finances, after all that, still looking pretty healthy. Yes, we're £2.5 million overdrawn, but we're getting paid half of that just to be on the telly against Huddersfield. Our projections are looking marvellous. We're within our budgets. We still have money left over. Things are looking good as long as this team is as good as I think it is. We still also don't have a figure for season ticket sales. I don't know how many we've sold. I guess we'll find out before our first home game. But let's get into our first match in the Premier League. We don't want to delay it any longer. Let's just get into it. And this is the team we're putting out there. We've got Montebello in goal. A back four. A new look back four of Sweeney, Turner, Botello and Riviere. Harrison at the base of the midfield. Samuel and Papuchiev, both new signings in the centre of midfield. Duku, new loan signing in attacking midfield. And New Boy King alongside Anthony Harris up front. We want the romance here. Anthony Harris scored the first ever goal for home back in episode 2 of the series, way back, what is it, 12 years ago now? How old are you? You're 29, Anthony. So is that 13 years ago? A long time ago, Anthony Harris scored the first goal in the history of this football club, back in the Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East. Can he now also score the first goal for this football club in the Premier League? And if he does so, he pushes past Sir Mick Powell to become the all-time record goal scorer in his own right as well. A lot of pressure on Anthony Harris today, but the man thrives under pressure and hopefully will put in a tremendous performance today. I'm a little bit worried about our pre-season, although to be fair, the ones that are not fully fit are mainly the ones who came in relatively late in the window. But I don't think we played enough friendlies. We've got a lot of players who don't seem ready for this new season. But hopefully it won't come back to bite us. We are the underdogs. We're going to be saying that a lot this season. I'm looking at the fixture list. I don't want to say the word easy, but we've got the least strenuous early fixtures that we could possibly hope for. We don't play any of like the big 7, 8 clubs at all in our first 5 games. We have to get some points on the board early. If we go 5 games at the start of this season, oh, he's done it. He's actually blooming done it. What a story, what a career, what a man. Anthony Harris, I think, has just earned his knighthood. Where is he? I mean, how could you not? He scored our first goal 8 tiers lower, and he's just scored our first goal at this level as well. Sir Anthony Harris. We salute you, sir. Right, let's carry on. What I was trying to say was if we're 5 games into this season, we haven't won a match yet, we're as good as relegated because it only gets harder from there. But we've started very brightly here against Blackburn, and it's Sweeney with the header just over. We've been all over Blackburn early on in this game. Did Blackburn come up with us last year? I don't think they did. I think it was Burnley and Huddersfield who came up with us. So Blackburn were up last year, but we've surprised them a little bit on the first day of the season here. Montebello makes the save. That's going to be the danger, that teams are just going to be so good attacking at us especially with a completely new look back four. All four of the defenders are players who've been brought in this summer. Turner, our new superstar young centre-back, he only signed like 4 days ago. I never heard of him. So I'm a little bit worried about some of them, but fingers crossed, everyone will put in a performance. King in behind, straight at the keeper. Matondo looks on from the bench thinking, I'd have scored that. You might well have done, Chardonnay, and you'll get the opportunity soon enough. If you'd have come back to us in January when we asked you to, you'd be in the team today because you'd have re-established your partnership with Sir Anthony Harris. But as it stands, you've got to earn your way back into the team. King's been here longer in this run. King signed back in June. You only came in mid-July. There's a bit of a defensive mess up there. We're going to get that a little bit. I hope that's teething problems with them not knowing each other's names yet, and not an indication that we're just generally going to be defensively incompetent. But I think that's Turner, who just kind of slid in, and Botello didn't know what was happening, and it's 1-1. 5 minutes to go until half-time. If we go in at half-time 1-1, I'll consider that a huge positive. So I'm not worried yet, although they've got a corner here, and that's just gone wide. We started brightly. Blackburn have woken up in the last 35 minutes of this half, though, and it's ended up fairly even. And you would say, as an impartial observer, that all the momentum is with Blackburn at the moment, and we're going to struggle in this second half. We're gonna stay calm and stay underdoggy again, and fingers crossed, manage to sneak a winner from somewhere. But like I say, a draw is absolutely fine in this first game of the season. Not only are we looking at how the new players bed in, and it's difficult to do both of these jobs at the same time, we're looking at how the new players bed in, but also trying to work out if this system is going to work at this level. I can't believe it will. But we're not going to know until Christmas, really, because we can't write it off early if it doesn't seem to be working, because that might just be because the players are getting used to each other. We'll see. Duku. Oh, it's sort of hit the post. Have we won a penalty? No, King is offside. I thought we'd won a penalty there, but it was actually King getting himself offside, and now Blackburn have a free kick, and it's a bit of a defensive mess again. Are we going over to a linesman there? Has that been disallowed? We're going over to the little telly. It has been disallowed. We've got little telly in the home series. We've never had that before. This is exciting. I didn't realise there was VAR in the Premier League. But I know it's been brought in real life next year. I guess it's been brought in game to reflect that. Right. King's having a poor game. We know what we're going to get from Matondo, so let's bring him on. Botello also struggling a little bit. And likewise, we know what we're going to get from Mark McLeish, so let's get him on. Two fairly straightforward changes to make in this second half. Let's have 10 minutes of passion as well. I'm keeping an eye on fitness levels as well of some of these players who might not be quite as fit as they could be. I really want to bring Manu on because we spent £13.5 million on him, but he's not close to match fit. And I've got to say, Lerick Fernandez deserves to be out there. Who are we going to bring him on for? Let's bring him on for Papuchev. Fernandez can play as a Mezzala. Manu can wait another day. We've got Will Tuck as well, who came through our youth system. He's up on the bench today. That's not necessarily going to be a regular thing. That's more to do with general fitness levels. I think Matondo almost scored in his first game back, forcing a save out of the keeper, not wearing his old number 12 because it was already taken by the time he arrived. So he switched it round. He's number 21 now. And there is probably the winner for Blackburn. I think this is going to be the story of our season, really. So near, yet so far. We've put up a good fight, but I mean, it's a very home goal to concede, really. Big ball over the top that we don't deal with. We've seen it a million times before. We'll ask for a bit more passion to end the game, but I think it's probably not going in our favour today. And it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get used to each other and for me to decide who our best 11 is. Matondo's in though. Matondo had another good opportunity. And maybe with a bit of match fitness into him, Matondo puts one of those two chances away and we come away with a draw. But as it is, our first game in the Premier League ends in defeat. We were underdogs. We're not going to be too disappointed about it. This next match is more of a must-win because we're at home, first game in Milton Keynes, and it's against Huddersfield, who we finished above in the league last year. They came up through the playoffs. Presumably, they've probably been able to spend a lot more money than us this summer, I would assume, because they were a previous Premier League team. So I imagine it's been so they've spent double what we've spent this summer. So they've probably improved more than we've improved. But if we're going to beat anybody, it's going to be the one team we finished above last year at home. We've got a must-win game already. Wowzers. That's a bit of a step up from 651 last year. I wonder how many of them have ever been to a home match before, or if this is the new Milton Keynes faithful. Be interesting to compare it to the MK Dons season ticket sales. They're obviously used to inviting a club into their town and accepting them as their own. But 8,000 season tickets sold, I mean, that's obviously far more than we've ever sold before. We've not really got much connection with the village anymore, but that's way more tickets than, by a factor of like 12, of way more than how many people actually live in Holme. Quite proud of that. That's awesome. We've also got a friendly lined up with Bedford. Just partly for match fitness for some of those players who just weren't fit enough to play in that first game, and partly to just... I don't want them to get grumpy. I want a nice, comfortable win against a team we should thump, and then take that momentum into Huddersfield. So it's got a double benefit playing that game against Bedford, hopefully, unless we lose it and Harris breaks his leg, in which case it was a stupid idea. Well, looks like there's the route for Matondo to get back into the team then. Kieran King has played one game and done his cruciate ligaments. Excellent. Right, two changes then from the game against Blackburn. Matondo obviously comes in up front, and I've brought Boyle in goal. Montabell was a bit iffy, especially for that second one. Boyle, star rating wise, is apparently just as good. Let's have a little look at him. In fact, even better on the star ratings now. He was previously just as good, but he can come in and play in goal and see if he's any better. Let's get into the game, and fingers crossed. Let's win this one, eh? It's quite an important one. So, team talk. I expect you to pick up where we lost last time out. You know what? I do expect a win tonight. We were better than Huddersfield last year. There's no reason why we shouldn't be better than them again this year. They've got to be one of the favourites to go down. So, fingers crossed, we can go out there and beat them. I mean, two clubs that Dean Morris has played for as well. Dean Morris was at Huddersfield for like 3 or 4 years before going to Tottenham. So they owe us a win for us creating a player that made them all that money when they sold him on to Tottenham. So I feel like we're owed on that basis, but I don't know if it works like that. Right, Riviere takes the throw. Anthony Harris failed in the area. We're going over to the little telly. I'd rather just have the penalty. I've already gone off this little telly thing. We get enough of this with Severe in non-league to legend. Can we have the penalty, please? It was definitely a foul. Sir Anthony Harris doesn't dive. Oh, Gordon Bennett. He doesn't dive. Have we got a penalty? We have got a penalty. Excellent stuff. Is it Harris to take? It should be. I haven't. No, Papuchiev. I haven't set penalty takers yet this season, so that was unfortunate. Duku takes the corner and nobody gets on the end of it. It goes to the far post and is cleared. That was just... I mean, it wasn't a poor corner. If there'd have been someone there ready to head it in, it would have been lovely. Just poor attacking play from the corner. Harrison plays it forward. So I think that was Riviere really far forward, which I guess is where our fullbacks are supposed to be. Sir Anthony Harris tries to slot it into... I don't know who that was. Duku Matondo. Can he get his first goal back? He can. Oh, it's good to have Chadney Matondo back at home. Home 1, Huddersfield 0. And I'm going to call that Harris and Matondo working together again. I think that's Matondo's 101st league goal for the club. I think he did get to exactly 100 goals for us when he was here on loan for 4 seasons. So... fingers crossed he carries on doing 25 goals a year. Now he's in the Premier League. If he carries on like that, it won't be too long before he's challenging Sir Anthony Harris for all-time top goal scorer, which would be very nice. Matondo, remember, only 23. Harris, 29. So Matondo, if he continues to get better, could and should break that record. It's just a little bit harder to do in the Premier League if we continue to progress, because chances are anyone in this team now, regardless of age, won't still be in the team that's challenging for the title in however many years, because I think there's a bigger difference in quality of player needed between the top and the bottom of the Premier League than there is between the Championship and the Conference, arguably, because we had a lot of players who came up a lot of divisions with us, but that's exactly what we found with the Nuneaton last year. You could bring players from the Conference, from League Two, all the way up to your Championship promotion, but then to get into the top half of the Premier League, whole new players needed. Right, we're over with the little telly again, and it goes against us this time. We give away a penalty through Harrison, and can Boyle make the save? He cannot. Well, we've not had much fun with penalties today, have we? 37 minutes gone, Holme 1, Huddersfield 1. Regardless of outcome, of course, this is going to be a record home attendance today, because our previous record's 5,500. We've got more season ticket holders than that, so it'll be interesting to see how many people have squeezed into Stadium MK for the first game here, and whether or not that's going to be a representative number or if it's going to be artificially boosted as the first home game in the new stadium. It doesn't look particularly full, does it? But then I guess it's a 30,000 capacity stadium. It's not going to be full. Right, assertively, let's dig in, go win this match. We've got to win this match. It's so important. 14,500 people, 3,000 of them Huddersfield fans. So we've got nearly 12,000 home fans who've gone all the way to Milton Keynes, or are Milton Keynes locals and have never seen a home match before. Either way, that's a lot of fans for a club of this size to have. Turner, across to Harrison, Samuel, Duku, plays it out to Riviere, who can't get the ball under control, and now Huddersfield have the chance to break on us, and this is a problem, and Boyle makes a save, a double save from Boyle. Excellent stuff. Their striker tried to be a little bit fancy there, and it didn't come off for him. But Huddersfield attacking again. Sweeney heads clear as far as Turner. I don't know why Turner's the most attacking man in our half, but he finds Matondo. Matondo across to Harris. Harris from the edge of the area, and probably should have either played it into whoever that was overlapping him, or just taken it on himself. There was no reason for him to have a shot there. Anthony Harris, not known for his long-range screamers. Seems a little bit wasteful there, but he is in behind here, and that's the kind of goal Harris typically scores. He misses, and again, he had Matondo square of him. I am questioning his decision-making today just a little bit, but there is Sir Anthony Harris again. Plays it into Duku, who's had a good game. Papuchev to Matondo, and Matondo has his second of the game. Premier League top scorer this year, anybody? Hands up if you were one of the people who said Matondo couldn't do it in the Premier League. I think he's a bargain at £5 million. Of course, reminder, we are playing against Huddersfield. Be interesting to see what he does against actual Premier League teams, not teams that came up with us through the playoffs. So let's try not to get too carried away, but if we pick up our first win in the Premier League today, I'm going to get carried away regardless, because I would be very excited. Matondo again. I thought he was going to grab a hat-trick. That would have been ridiculous. We look like home today. 3 clear-cut chances, 62% possession, 15 shots. We're playing very well, but we are obviously vulnerable at the back, like we always are, and Huddersfield will be looking to take advantage of that in these final 25 minutes, and they're just knocking it around us as if we're not there. Boyle, I think, saved that, but it looks like it's gone down as a goal kick. I'm not going to argue with that at all. Right, what are we going to do? Turner, not having the best of games, but we don't have a central defender on the bench, so he's just going to have to stay on. Samuel, not having the best of games. And we've got Jonathan Torres. We spent £5 million on him in the summer, so let's see if he's any good. He wants to be a deep-lying playmaker. So I'm going to carry on following the instructions Miles gave me back when I was down at Sports Interactive before FM19 came out. Only one playmaker on the pitch, so if Torres is going to be it, Duku goes to an attacking midfielder, and he'll just have to like it. Sir Anthony Harris, we don't have a striker on the bench. Why is my assistant manager putting youngsters on the bench? It was Will Tuck in the last game, now it's Delhi Stevenson. Is there some kind of rule in the Premier League that you have to have players through your own youth team on the bench? And if so, why does Sir Anthony Harris not count? Because he came through our youth system, as did Lerick Fernandez. I think they're the only two in the squad. Fernandez isn't in the squad today, but he was for the last game. Seems weird that we've got them down there. I might even try and pick my bench for the next game to see if it makes a difference. Let's get Manu on and have a look at Manu. See what he's got to offer in the last 20 minutes of this game. Harrison with the corner. Nowhere near a home shirt again, but it falls to Harris. There's Matondo. Harris is in space. The ball's just knocking around in the area. And we've got another corner. Turner now has picked up an injury. We're going to need to take him off, but we don't have anyone to play at centre-back. Harrison plays it all the way across to Botelho. Riviere to Harrison, to Papyachev. Torres. Sweeney has a shot from range and it goes a little bit high, a little bit wide, but we're attacking again. Or attacking still, you could say. Riviere, cross to Matondo. Matondo has his hat-trick. Oh, my word. I thought we'd never experience this again. I thought he was gone for good when he didn't come back on loan. I'm so happy to have this man back at this football club. It's the Matondo and Harris show. Again, it has been for 5 years. It still is. They were doing this together in League One. They're still doing it together in the Premier League. What a player Shadney Matondo is. Goodness me. Turner, we just don't have anyone to come on for him. I know we've already looked, but I'll have another look. Who have we got on the bench? What can we make as a final change? I'm not going to bring Stevenson on. Might bring on Grant Brown just to have a look at him. We've not had a chance to have a look at him yet. So bring him on for Sweeney. See if Brown's any good. Brown is the player who we brought in for $1 million so we could sell Wearmouth for $8 million. Seems like good business to me, but let's see if he's as good as Mark Wearmouth was. And hopefully we're going to hold on. We should probably be praising the team here because they're going to win a Premier League game. Maybe. Brown with the clearance. As far as Matondo shoots from miles out. What is he thinking there? Harris must have been up with him. He always is. Anthony Harris doesn't go back for corners. Riviere to Harris. Harris flicks on to nobody. And Huddersfield try what's probably going to be a final attack. Turner heads as far as Torres. Torres tries to find Matondo but can't quite get there. But Brown heads back towards Torres again. And we're defending scrappily but well from our midfield, really, at the moment. It's not really good. But tell you what, Brown looks good in the air, doesn't he? Several decent headers there. Torres has basically had a shot, which Boyle has had to head. And Turner, who's injured, struggling to get across to it. And that is all the fault of Torres in midfield. What was he thinking? But equally, what is Boyle thinking there? Just let it go out for a corner. You don't want to be just heading it back into play the way you have there. So between the two of them, they've contrived to give away a goal. Hopefully we don't give away another one. We don't. We've managed to hold on. Defensive nonsense, clearly, is going to be a theme of our season. But we have picked up our first win as a Premier League club. And that is all that matters. There you go. Europa League qualification. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right, we will be back tomorrow with... There's going to be so much temptation. I guess we're going to have to do Arsenal and Man United. I think I'm probably going to show you a lot of league games this year, unless we become the whipping boys. If it's going to be a relegation season, then we'll get through it relatively quickly. But if we're mid-table, then absolutely I'm going to show you Arsenal and Man United and Tottenham and Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool and all these big clubs just to see how they've got on over the years. So we'll be back tomorrow with Arsenal and Man United. Fingers crossed. Between Leicester, Bournemouth and Fulham, we'll have another 5 or 6 points on the board. That would be handy. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.